One of the essential ingredients that we all need for our gardens is water. We are all so accustomed to just simply opening a tap and the water pouring out of it. Well, what if we don't have it? We all know that it's got expensive, and we all know that we should be taking care of this limited resource more carefully, even us gardeners. The United Nations predicts that by the year 2030, that more than 700,000 people will be displaced because of the lack of the resource of water. And yet, we know within our gardens that this commodity can be used better. So why not let's find something that will work for you and I, and also ensure that we have healthier plants that are far less stressed. Folks, the solution is very simple. In fact, it's been used in the forestry industry for eons. And what this is a polymer. So it's a synthetic polymer which basically is able to absorb water. So we all know the traditional forests that we see, the pine plantations, those plants are not watered. They are watered once in their lifetime. Young seedlings are taken, are planted with this synthetic polymer, which we are going to introduce to you today as Hydrocache. In that hole is a bit of Hydrocache. The seedling is put in, closed up, it's given a sip of water, and that is the last time that it receives water from any human being. So this synthetic polymer that we've described comes in very, very fine granules, but you'll notice on my finger that it's quite black. And that is because this polymer has another secret weapon, and that it's been infused with a source of carbon. And when we add that, there are a couple of things that happen. Number one, we're building the soil. Very important. When we're building the soil, a whole lot of other things happen, like the soil becomes a better product. It means that the water holding capacity of the soil is improved. It means that the nutrition that is in that soil and fertilizers that you might have added become more readily and accessible to the plant. And at the end of the day, all of that means that we're going to have better flowers, better fruit, and all around a better garden. So let's show you how Hydrocache works. Guys, the easiest way to show you is to take a jug, and right over here I've got a larger plastic container, and all I'm going to do is add one of these little scoops, which comes in the packaging, into this to show you on a really intensive scale how this product works. These millions and millions of fine little polymers are able to absorb water. They hold it, and then when the plant needs it, the plant then extracts it. Nice and easy, but take a look. We're going to give it a stir. As I'm stirring, I can already feel the consistency change. It's becoming slightly thicker. Take a look there. You can actually see the little clumps forming, and the little granules that were minute little granules are now actually starting to swell up, almost like little frog's eggs, and absorbing the water. The teaspoon is now standing upright. All the water that was in this jug has now been absorbed by these minute little polymers. You can actually see they've swollen, which means that that water is now being stored in there. So when the plants need it, and it is directly by the root zone, they just suck it back up. And this, my friends, was one of those little capsules, which is 10 grams in here. So your quantities that you're using are very, very small. You can see that the consistency has completely changed, and you can actually see the individual size now. So how can we use the Hydrocache in our everyday gardening? There are two different ways that you can apply it. Number one is in this form where you've actually made the gel. And generally the best idea is to take a container like this and add your Hydrocache, make a good sloppy mixture, and then add that to the bottom of the planting hole. The second way that you can do it is by adding it into the soil simply around your plants. If I was making a mixture for my hanging baskets, well, then I'd simply just take my potting soil that I have, follow the instructions, and add the right amount of dry Hydrocache, because now I've mixed it into the complete body of soil. So this would be 10 grams added into my potting soil as a dry ingredient, and then giving it a good mix. So now I know that all of this soil now has these little hydrocache granules incorporated into it in every little crevice. So as I'm watering my container or my baskets, the water's going to be held in the right place by the root zone available for our plants. So besides hanging baskets or containers, Hydrocache has many other applications in the garden. For ground covers, you would use 5 to 100 grams per square meter. Simply just work the Hydrocache granules into the soil to a depth of 10 to 15 centimeters. Increase the amount of Hydrocache that you're using if you've got particularly sandy soils, because we all know that sandy soils are very challenging when it comes to water retention. If you are busy planting a new lawn, then this is the time that you want to apply the Hydrocache, because we know that lawns can be water guzzlers. So apply the Hydrocache liberally over the prepared soil before planting, mix it in 10 centimeters, and then either plant your seed or your lawn sods directly over that. And remember, for shrubs and trees, just follow the instructions and the quantities on the back of the packet, and that will tell you how much to apply around each plant before planting. For existing plants, containers, hanging baskets, are you able to apply Hydrocache? The answer is yes. Certainly not as effective as if you were mixing it into all the potting soil like I've just demonstrated. But there's a way to do it, folks, and it's simply like this. This was your container, like my hanging baskets, which are prone to drying out. It's the main reason why they fail, is find a spot in your basket, in your container, where you can take a dibbler like this, or even just a piece of wood, and you just pop it in, reel it around a bit, get it as deep as possible, pull our dibbler out, and now all we're going to do is add in some of our dry granules. Now, there's no science to this. Just take a bit, more than enough, and then we add in a bit of water, because I now know, and we've shown it, that the water is now going to get absorbed by these little granules. Once you've given it a bit of water, just cover up that hole a little bit. So from now on, every time you water your basket, those little polymers, the Hydrocache, they're going to swell up, and then as your plants need it, so they're going to be taking it back. Folks, that's Hydrocache, nice and easy. It'll really change the way you garden, certainly in terms of success of baskets, containers, and difficult areas like dry shade, sandy soils, and even bad lawn.